In Alabama, Amazon workers are organizing a vote. Doesn't happen immediately. This is, after a trend of a presidential campaign, Bernie Sanders pushing back against Amazon workers who've organized in New York and other parts of the country in reaction to how Amazon has treated workers in the middle of a pandemic. Let's play this clip with labor reporter Kim Kelly, who frequents the show as well.
Every worker needs a union, but workers here really need a union. I talked to one of the first people who made one of those original calls to RWDSU and asked them to get involved. And he just said, I feel like it's my job to make things better. Like, we deserve better, and I want to do what I can to help us get there. And, Alex Press had a really great article in the New Republic the other day just about the deeper labor history in Bessemer, because Bessemer is a union town, and that's a rarity in a state that's, as blood red and Republican led, and I'm not trying to rhyme, and right to work in a right to work state in Alabama. Like, this is the kind of place that Bezos runs to. He got ran out of Queens. Queens didn't want him. So they thought, what are the kind of places where a plant like that, where a facility like this would be welcome, where we can bring good jobs and operate with zero actual oversight? And it's places like Bessemer, Alabama, which is an impoverished town. It's predominantly Black. There's a crime problem. There are very few resources. There are very few options for folks here. Amazon likes to present itself as the best game in town. But like you mentioned, there's already this history of organizing. There are other unionized warehouses and poultry plants in the area where workers are making more money than they make at Amazon. Like, there is a precedent here. And, it could have, you could say it could have happened anywhere, but I don't know, it does feel like a particularly special place for it to be kicking off. Because if workers here in Bessemer, Alabama can pull this off, that means workers anywhere in the country can. Mm-hmm. Once this first domino falls, it's anybody's game.
What do you think, Esperanza? Is this a sign that this could happen anywhere and that it's happening fast enough? I mean, this is such a monopoly. This is such a huge company that if they fail in one region, or, even if they do unionize, there might be a whole other fight that comes forward in the coming months and weeks. But is this something that can be duplicated across other parts of the South that might have some labor background or not?
Yeah. So, I think that, again, sort of back to the earlier question, the best defense against fascism is an organized working class, right? And so this is part of what we need to be doing to fight fascism, right? Organizing the working class in our neighborhoods, in our workplaces, et cetera. However, at the same time, a lot of what I've noticed within the labor movement is that we tend to go for these like big fish, right? Like Amazon, Walmart, et cetera. And sometimes when we have not built our forces enough by frying the little fish, it can be hard to win the big fish. And so I am optimistic that they will win their union. I hope they win their union. But I think that we need to understand that with labor organizing and all organizing, we are going to experience some failure. The point is we have to learn from that and continue building momentum from that. And eventually we will win big and we will win for the working class.
Natalie, just pivoting a little bit. We're in a new administration, and Jeff Bezos has stepped down from his leadership role. Not entirely. He's going to be on the board. He'll still be involved, of course. But they have faced some setback even under the Trump administration. Now you're going to have a new, National Labor Relations Board. There's a new presidency in which, who knows? Maybe he will lean more worker focused, given the fact that we're in a pandemic and a global economic crisis. But who's to say? Do you think that there's an opportunity here to kind of use this disgusting Amazon, because they have been pressuring workers, they've been intimidating workers, they've been buying ads. It is a bad campaign. It looks bad for Amazon. Do you think there's a way for progressives and organizers to push back and get Biden to take a more active role?
There's always a way to push back, right? And the answer of how to push back, as Esperanza said, is the same under, Biden or any other president. I think that, it might be more difficult or less difficult depending on some of the political factors that you mentioned, but ultimately this is going to be a push that has to come from an organized workforce. It's going to have to come from below. So that's going to be the same answer, irrespective of what the political conditions are at the top. And I think that the best we can hope for is, will it get a bit easier for them? And, I think the answer is it's not easy. This is an immensely difficult thing in any circumstance. I do hope it does get somewhat easier, but I don't want to suggest that this is an easy thing. It's something that, we understand how these things work. We understand that this needs to come from workers, but it's difficult to do. And I really hope that they have a lot of solidarity on their side.
And, we're covering this every day on the show pretty regularly, so we'll see as these votes roll out. But yeah, they're spending a lot of money on ads, on intimidation, on setting meetings, on trying to block votes from happening by mail, if that doesn't sound familiar, but hoping that they come through with a win. And then they're going to have a whole other set of fights. So we'll see. Thanks for watching and listening to The Nomiki Show. But remember to click like and subscribe on YouTube, and please share on social media. If you're not already a patron, please join us for as low as $5 a month on patreon.com/The Nomiki Show for early and special content. That investment makes a huge difference. We are not corporate media raking in the dough. It's really you guys that are keeping us going. So please consider being a patron. And to our current patrons, thank you so much. We are incredibly grateful to you. We also now have swag. So check us out on thenomikishow.com to get your mugs, your totes, and your stickers.